Tech on Demand podcast brought to you by GrowerTalks. Audio Files, Episode 22. Biofungicides, What to Consider. From the August 2023 issue of GrowerTalks magazine, written by Dr. Ann Chase, narrated by Bill CALKINS. Biofungicides, What to Consider. We're hearing more today about biopesticides than ever before, especially if you're growing organically. But what if you aren't trying to grow crops with pesticides exclusively? They can definitely be used in a conventional production setting as well. You just have to be mindful that the conventional products don't interfere with the biopesticides. Most biopesticides are OMRI listed and can include biological agents like bacteria, fungi, and predatory mites and insects. They can also be extracts from a biological organism, such as a plant. You should be aware of some considerations before trying biopesticides in your operation. It might be simpler to convert completely to biopesticides, but it's rarely practical due to limitations in controlling a wide array of diseases. There are some facts you need to know to make the most successful use of any pesticide, biological or conventional. Myths and misconceptions. Here are a few of the statements I've heard from a variety of growers, researchers, and manufacturer representatives regarding biopesticides, especially those classified as true biologicals. Biopesticides don't work as well as synthetic or conventional products. Biopesticides don't have a good shelf life. Biopesticides aren't compatible with synthetic or conventional products. Applying biopesticides once is enough for the life of the crop. We don't know what biopesticides are doing. They're magic. Biopesticides are never phytotoxic and are inherently safe for the environment, plants, and humans. Each of these statements is wrong, at least as applied to some of the biopesticides registered today. In contrast, the following characteristics are true for many biopesticides, including some biologicals or biopesticides must be used before the pest pressure arrives at seeding, at planting, in plug trays. Biopesticides should be used following or sometimes with chemical fungicides. Under high disease pressure, biopesticides may not perform well. Many things affect efficacy of biopesticides, including fertilizer, host plant, pathogens, and even pathogen species. Being a better grower makes using biologicals, and really all fungicides and bactericides, more likely to succeed. Although some products are biologicals, biopesticides, and organics, not all biopesticides are biological, and not all organic products are biopesticides. Biopesticides that aren't biological control agents, BCAs, act more like synthetic products, making them simpler to use in many cases. These products are typically a combination of a variety of chemicals they make in culture or are extracted from them, like plant extracts. Biologicals can be simple, but are more likely to provide a variety of direct and indirect effects. An example of direct effects would be lipopolysaccharides that destroy bacterial and fungal cells, for example, bacillus. Indirect effects are those that such products trigger in the host, often referred to as SAR, or systemic acquired resistance factors. Trichoderma, bacillus, and some plant extracts have been proven to trigger plant defense responses. One of the best examples of how much our knowledge has improved over the past 20 years is the understanding of T22, one of the BCAs in Root Shield Plus. Here's a summary of the ways that researchers, often at universities here and internationally, have discovered how they work. This particular summary was prepared by Bioworks. Excludes pathogens. Root Shield Plus takes up space in the rhizosphere and crowds out pathogens. It not only overtakes that space, it eats nutrients as well, causing pathogens to starve. Shields roots. Not only does Root Shield Plus grow on roots, it shields them from pathogens. It acts as a barrier that pathogens cannot get through. Hunts and eats pathogenic fungi. Root Shield Plus seeks out, attacks, and eats fungal pathogens. Antagonizes pathogens. Root Shield Plus releases antipathogen substances, creating a zone that is inhospitable to pathogens. Includes host resistance. Root Shield Plus, with its presence in the rhizosphere, signals the plant to accumulate defensive compounds, which gives the plant a better defense response in subsequent encounters with pathogens. What factors affect the use of biopesticides? The answer is exactly everything that affects how conventional products work, including timing, rate, and interval, inoculum pressure and crop, tank mixing or alteration with conventional synthetic fungicides, the potting medium, irrigation method and fertility regime, and finally, even the exact species of the pathogen causing the disease. This list is the same for biopesticides, since what is being described is how the course of a plant disease is affected. Dr. Mary Hausbeck and her team at Michigan State University performed extensive research with a few biologicals and a few conventional fungicides. They tested the ability of each product to control several species of Pythium on 2 crops, snapdragon and geranium. The best biological or fungicide for one species of Pythium on geranium wasn't the same as the best for another species of Pythium on the same crop, or even the same Pythium species on another crop. Consistency wasn't better for the conventional fungicides than for the biologicals. So the picture of choosing what biological or conventional products work best is based on what your crops are, and what the exact cause of the disease might be. Unfortunately, however, we don't know the exact product for a specific situation that would perform the best. If the biopesticide is a biological control agent and alive, there are factors that must be considered to ensure their effective use. First, you must realize that everything that affects the crop or the plant pathogen can affect another living organism, the BCA. This includes water level, salinity, potting medium characteristics, and of course, conventional fungicides or bactericides. This article was originally published in the first edition of our Biosolutions guide, which came out with the June issue of GrowerTalks. You can find the Biosolutions guide online at GrowerTalks.com. The end. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Audio Files from the Tech on Demand podcast, brought to you by GrowerTalks. Please take a minute to leave us a positive review. It'll help us reach more greenhouse professionals.